If you're watching this, you're most likely struggling when it comes to meme coin trading. And I'm going to go over the 5 mistakes that I had to stop to actually become a successful meme coin trader. And the likelihood is that you're making either one or many of these mistakes. And trust me, if you fix at least a couple of them, I promise you, you will make money. First and foremost, you need to stop treating meme coin trading like it's a side hustle, like it's a side hobby. And yeah, you might think to yourself, no, I put in the time, I put in the work. Yeah, but you don't treat it like it's a job, like it's a business, like something that you actually need to really take serious and that you're on a very, very tight, time frame for. Same way, for example, if you were in a job that you knew was really, really hard to get, you literally just finished the interview with the person who hired you, and tomorrow was your first day. How are you going to treat your first day at work? You're probably going to make it on time. You're going to have a strict schedule. You're going to look good. Not saying you need to look good when it comes to trading meme coins, but you're going to take it serious. You're going to pay attention to every single detail. If the guy in the interview said to you, bro, I want you to pay attention to every single mistake you make and figure out why you made each and every single mistake, you would do it. But why, when it comes to meme coins and you make mistakes, you brush past it and don't really pay attention too much to it? And you kind of just move on to the next trade and try and, freestyle your way through once again. This isn't what meme coins is about. Meme coins is a skill, and it's a compilation of methods and strategies that make you money. If it was easy, then 99% of people wouldn't be losers, but they are. In matter of fact, it's like a 0.001% of the meme coin space are actually winners, and I mean like consistent winners. Now, the biggest misconception is that meme coins is easy money. It's not. It is genuinely not easy money. It's actually the complete opposite if you're on the wrong end of the stick, right? Which you watching this video probably are, and you experience it, where you realize that yes, there is an easy money aspect to it, where if, again, just like the lottery, things work out in your favor, you are going to make easy money. But when it doesn't, all you do is lose money. There's no other way around it. So in fact, it isn't actually easy money. It's actually hard until you can make it easy. And the issue is, like, social media, other traders, Twitter, and even just blockchain and crypto being so transparent has sold people this false representation of meme coins that it's so easy to get rich quick, or it's so easy to master the skill. It's not, right? You need to understand that it takes a certain level of sustained effort and discipline for you to become a successful meme coin trader. And I've actually got a couple of notes right in front of me that I'm going to try go through really quickly just to not prolong this video too much. But I know, for example, you watching this, you've probably tried to copy signals. You've probably tried to listen to KOLs or influencers on what to buy and so on and so forth. That won't work. You're trying to remove the need to work. That's what you're trying to do. You don't realize it. You're trying to shortcut your way to success. But do you really think that these guys giving you signals are getting signals from someone else? No. Like, even me, myself, I have never, ever called my private community a signal group, because that's not the kind of guys I want to attract. Because those are the worst type of guys that I'd want to attract. The community I built, for example, everyone knows the responsibility is on their own shoulders, and we all help each other elevate. We all help each other profit and get better in the meme coin space. The issue with most groups is they do the complete opposite. They sell people in this dream that, oh, you're going to be rich off signals. But let me ask you a question. This person that you're getting signals off right now, let's just say they're the best signals in the world. If he dies tomorrow, does that now mean that you're not going to make any money? Yeah, it does. Do you really want to be living like that? This is why I never sell signals, because it's like, I would feel so bad if I one day just disappeared and couldn't give you any more signals, and now you can't make any money, right? Anyway, back to the point. Treat it like a very, very serious, business, work, job, whatever you want to call it, all right? And this goes for those of you that are juggling multiple things as well. So if you're trying to run another side hustle or a business on the side, or whatever it may be, you need to stop. Or at least you need to segregate them in a way where you can give full focus to meme coins when the time comes, right? Treat it like a university degree. Like, again, I've never been to university, right? I got kicked out of college at 16. But, I know that a lot of people, when they go to uni, when they're in their class or whatever it may be, they're actually focused. And whether they want to be focused or not, they kind of have to be. And they are. It's the same thing with school, like when you weren't allowed your phones out and so on and so forth. So why do you allow yourself to be distracted when it comes to trading meme coins, bro? You shouldn't be, okay? Trying to do so many things at once is just going to slow you down, bro. You've seen it yourself. Most of the people that make a bunch of money in the crypto space are fully focused on the crypto space. That's why you see most of them on Twitter, active 24/7. And sometimes you even think to yourself, and I know you probably do, you're like, how are these guys so active? How do these guys keep up with the market? And they know so many things and so on and so forth. It's because they full on focus on crypto and crypto only, right? Number two, and it links back to what I was saying earlier, please stop chasing that one big hit. I promise you, one big hit will not change your life. Not at all. It will not make anything different in your life. I promise you. You will not, like, I'll give you an actual story that I personally went through, right? I made an insane amount of money at one point in my crypto journey, right? Before I actually was like an experienced trader or anything like that. Like, it was somewhat of a 400, 500x. I can't remember the exact number. I was over the moon. I didn't make like millions, or like, I probably made just under 100,000. But to me, that was a lot of money. And I'm sure to a lot of you watching this video, that's a lot of money to make it one trade. I promise you now, I did not even end up keeping that money because you make money to spend it, right? I spent the money. And whether I spend it on something good or something bad doesn't matter, right? Whether I spend it over the course of 1 month or 12 months doesn't matter. Point is, that big win did nothing for me in the following months. It just made me a bit more money for me to spend on the things that I was already spending. The same method, like, I didn't have a method to make that 400, 500x. I made it by chance. And what you're doing right now is you're trying to rely on chance to make you that big chunk of money, which you're just going to end up spending, and you won't be able to replicate that same success again. And it's going to lead you to a point where the worst thing you want is for you to be able to make 100, 200k of one trade, and then you now get comfortable because you're like, oh, I just made 200 grand, I just made 100 grand, I just made 80k. And now you get comfortable, a month goes by because you've now got 80k in your bank where you can just sit back, go to Dubai, chill, and so on and so forth. And you just missed out on all the opportunities that you could have made in that month because you're now comfortable, bro. Whereas if you change the scenario where now you decide to dedicate yourself to learning how to consistently hit these big hits, just like I've done, right? And this is why every single video I'm able to show you results. I'm able to show you the way, like, my clients have bought crazy cars and my clients have made crazy results. Like that guy that I always tell you guys about, where he started with 30 euros. The guy turned it into $500 in like a week. I showed you screenshots in the past. Then after that, he turned it from like 500 to 1,500. And then within literally a couple of months, he turned that into 40,000 euros. And then he ended up buying an Audi TT, ended up buying an Audi Q8, ended up buying a Porsche Cayenne. I've shown you these screenshots. I even showed you the client who bought a Mercedes GLS 600, the Maybach. That's like a 300 grand car, bro. Another guy, he bought an Audi RS6. That's like a 150 grand car, right? These things don't happen by accident, right? These things happen intentionally because these guys knew what they're doing and they can do it consistently. If I showed you, let me ask you a question. If you had a money printer in the basement, how many times did you go and print money? Probably as much as you possibly could, right? But the issue with you guys, what you're trying to do is you've got a money printer in the basement and you're trying to figure out how to print the most amount of money once. Why would you do that, bro? Why would you do that when you could just print over and over and over and over and over again? All right. Remember, big wins can disappear overnight. Luck is not a skill. You know, you getting lucky on a one big win is not going to make you more money in the future. And, you know, gambling is what you're basically doing. And it's not a strategy, right? You need to treat it like it's income, like it's cash flow, right? And then later on down the line, you can look into investing and trying to hit like big wings to multiply your money and so on and so forth. But when you have a consistent method to making money over and over and over again, that's where you actually make a stupid amount of money, all right? Now, number 3 is knowledge overload equals implementation crisis, right? I know a bunch of you right now watching this video have probably watched so many other meme coin videos, so many other crypto videos, or maybe it's not even to do with crypto, maybe it's just business as a whole and how to make money online or all this stuff. I don't know. Point is, you're overloading yourself with way too much information, more than you actually need. The lessons that you are going to learn that will get you to the point that you want to be are in the implementation. That's what you're missing out on. Imagine reading a book on how to drive a car, but never going to actually drive a car. Do you know how to drive? No. Imagine reading a book on how to swim and never going into the ocean or the swimming pool to actually try and swim. Will you know how to swim? No. You might think you know. You might actually know the fundamentals and actually what it takes to do it, but doesn't mean you can do it. Everything that you need to know to become successful is in the implementation. You already know what it requires, right? If you've watched my other videos, you know the kind of chart patterns I look into, you know the kind of narratives that run, you know the kind of risk management you need to put in place and so on and so forth. I mean, if you need help with that, like, let me know. I can help you out as well. My Instagram will be in the description. You can send me a DM. You know what you need, but instead what you choose to do is binge watch videos. You like over analyze things and you try to overlearn and just try and see what you're missing out on. And what you do is you avoid trading, or at least when you trade, you don't go into it with clarity because you've overloaded yourself with way too much information. All right. implementation over information at all times. Remember this, okay? And by the way, if you do struggle with like having the right amount of knowledge, because I know like the YouTube space right now, especially when it comes to crypto and meme coins, is BS, man. Everyone just tells you random stuff, and like I even get people every single day telling me. The reason I know this, I don't watch YouTube that much because I know everyone just talks BS now. Most people come to me saying, bro, you're the only one that posts genuine videos, you're the only one that teaches, and so on and so forth. I try and teach as much as I can, but like at the end of the day, I have clients who pay me money to learn all my strategies and learn all my methods. So there's only so much I can give out nowadays. But if you are someone who is actually serious about trading meme coins and you want to know exactly what I do to trade and make a bunch of people successful, there is a link in the description. You can click on it and then it will send you to like an application form. There's a video, make sure you watch it, see if you actually qualify, and just fill in the application. If I feel like I can work with you, I will. If not, no hard feelings. Anyway, number 4, stop comparing yourself with others, all right? Comparison kills progress. I'm not going to say comparison is a thief of joy. I personally recommend you to compare yourself with others in certain situations, just to motivate yourself, just to show you that you've got a lot more room to grow, so on and so forth. But don't compare your year 1 to someone else's year 5, right? Like I've been in this make money online space for years now, right? I've been in the NFT space, you know, I've been in the crypto space, I've been in the business space, and so on and so forth. And a lot of people might compare themselves to me, but they've only been in this space for a year, and I've been in this space 5 years. Like, you wasn't there when, like, I was sleeping in an office, you know, and I was trying to trade NFTs and I just kept losing money. And I was getting only 5 to 6 hours sleep because I was trying to stay as active as possible, right? And I was eating, I don't know if you guys know what meal deals are, but it's like the cheapest way you could eat in UK, right? You go to the supermarket, you get a sandwich, crisps, and a drink, all for like £3. I was going through that, bro, to try and make ends meet. I was trying to make ends meet and I was trying to make a lot of money. That was my year 1, year 2, and almost into year 3, but I managed to get out, right? You didn't see that. So you comparing your year 1 or year 2 to my year 5 isn't going to help you out. That's not me saying that you can't make it so quick. I've helped people that are in their year 1 make it to my year 5. Bro, there are people who started trading meme coins after me and are now making more money than me, or have made more money than me, or have retired, bro. This is the thing with meme coins. What people don't understand, like, I'll give you an example. My objective when I work with people is to get them to a certain amount of money every single month in cash flow, right? On average, it will be like between 10 to 50K a month, right? Now, what people don't understand, and what I explain to my members is like, listen, the goal is to get to a consistent amount of money per month, 10 to 50K, but we're not trying to block out the outliers. And the outliers is what's going to make you stupid money. Like, for example, what you could expect to happen is you maybe are making 10 to 15K every single month, and then one month you just make 300K out of nowhere because you were there, right place, right time. You didn't get complacent. This is what happens a lot of the time, right? A lot of my clients that you see, like, with these crazy results, but I've had clients who've made millions of one coin, is because of this. They're not making millions every single month. They made it off one coin because they were there at the right time, right? This is what I'm saying. Like, you could be in your year 1, but if you implement the right things, you could surpass everyone in their year 5, but just don't compare. Just do what you need to do to actually get there, okay? And number 5 is surround yourself with the right people. It's so important, bro. Your environment is what shapes your outcomes. Like, you need to understand that if you're in a very, very low quality, cheap signals group that was like $20, $50, $100 to enter, bro, who else do you think is going to be in that group? Low quality people that can't afford higher status, higher quality groups. There's a reason why my stuff, I don't sell anything that's cheap. If I want something that has low quality people, I make it for free. And I have like a free public channel, which I barely do anything in. But that's for people who can't afford any of my stuff. The people who can afford my stuff, the reason why I make it a certain barrier to entry is because I want everyone in that group to be of high value. Because your environment shapes your reality, right? Your environment is what shapes your outcome. As I said to you earlier, everyone inside my group helps each other. Everyone inside my group is a good trader. Everyone inside my group makes a lot of money. So when we have someone who has a mindset where they think $100 is a lot of money, or it's hard to make $500 per day with meme coins, what do you think that's going to do if I bring them into my group and they're feeding that kind of energy to my members? Bro, I don't like that kind of stuff around me. You need to have a higher tolerance to that as well. You need to have high standards. You need to surround yourself with people who know exactly what the potential of meme coins are, know exactly how much money you could potentially make, and are willing to put in that time and effort and energy to achieve it, right? Don't be that type of guy that, normalizes like drinking and gambling and just spending like an hour or two achieving your goals, and the rest of the time you're just chilling with guys outside while they're smoking weed and stuff. Bro, don't do that, bro. Be the kind of guy that, again, I'm not even going to sit here until you go to the gym and stuff like that. Who cares? I didn't even start going to the gym and taking my health serious until I made a bunch of money, because money was my main focus. But at least I can say that I spent hours and hours each and every single day and surrounded myself with the right people that were all money focused and money hungry. That's exactly what you want to do. All right. And you might think to yourself, yeah, but where I'm from, I can't find those type of people. Bro, the internet exists. This is why I create stuff like groups and communities and stuff like that. Because you can just buy your way into these places. You can find your way into these places, right? You don't need to be physically in front of these people. Bro, I've had people in my group that end up becoming in real life friends because they met through my group. That's the kind of thing you want to work towards. Anyway, listen, trading, especially meme coins. In fact, meme coins is probably the most, in what I'm about to say. It's emotional, right? It's an emotional game. Doing it alone is going to be super hard. And community is what provides perspective, stability, and it also allows you to have like 10 brains in one. Where, like, let's say, for example, you're trying to look for a coin to buy, or you're even analyzing a coin and you're in a VC with like 5 of your friends. One person's looking at the X, one person's looking at the chart, one person's looking at the tokenomics or whatever it is, bro. And you've got so many eyes on the same thing that you speed up the process and you're able to get different perspectives. Remember, your level of awareness is different from everyone else's. You might have someone in your group that's a bit smarter than you, someone who isn't as smart as you, but maybe they're smart in a particular aspect. That will help you grow, bro. If you like this video, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care.